Peaches here, and this is Peaches Pit Party, the podcast. A lot of puh sounds with that title. A replay of today's full show, which you can hear weekday afternoons live on K-Barrel 101. I hope you like what I have to say, and if not, well, then I'm sorry, not sorry. Enjoy. Of course, I had to kick off the show with Coheed and Cambria, one of their newer tracks, The Joke, as my pick of the day today here on K-Barrel 101. Happy Tuesday, the worst day out of the entire week, but I'm here to hopefully make it better for you, at least entertain you for your drive or you're at work listening to me. I appreciate you. Get a hold of me at 208-535-1015. Primus and Coheed and Cambria were awesome last night. Both bands were absolutely spectacular. It was great to actually be on the rail for the first time in a while. Right there up front, I know loyal listener Jeremy posted the classic Find Peaches in the Crowd section. Find Peaches in the Crowd picture on the K-Barrel 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group. You can find it there. Some people were actually trying their best to find me, which it's not that hard. You're just looking for the head above everybody else. Victor was walking around. Jade was walking around. It was great to see. Wait a minute. I just looked at our K-Bear group. Somebody commented, "So good you and Peaches were attempting the mosh pit. So fun." No, Victor kept bumping into me, and I was just pretending to push him back. I didn't want to knock the dude over. I did at one point fairly, ran into him at a fair with a fair amount of force, and he almost fell over. So I stopped right then and there. It's just he's that little guy, and I don't necessarily want to hurt him, Him and Brian both trying to get me into that pit. I was just trying to enjoy the show. The pit was pretty fun, though, during the Primus show. It looked like a lot of fun, I should say. But glad I was able to see a whole lot of people out there. Got myself one of those limited edition posters. I already got it in the frame. Going to hang it up in my bedroom. So I can have that weird-looking Primus picture to look at when I fall asleep at night. Get a hold of me at 208-535-1015. Pantera and more on the way to continue our afternoon here together. And of course, with the Primus show last night at the Mountain America Center, there's always that one post that somebody will make in the K-Barrel 101 Idaho Rock and Metal Facebook group. That listener, loyal listener Jeremy, posted, "Let's play my favorite game. Where is Brendan Peach?" For some reason, people still don't know that my full name is Brendan Peach. My last name is legitimately Peach. That's why I go by Peaches. There have been people who have come up to me saying, "Well, I have a sister that's nicknamed Peaches. She's been nicknamed that her entire life. I have the full-on last name. Take away that nickname. It's not theirs whatsoever. Are you kidding me? Brendan Peach, the only Peach. Well, besides my family and all that, but it's very easy to spot me. You can just look at the head above the rest of the crowd there. I'm looking at the comments, and I just see the tall one. My dad even put top middle dude behind a raised arm. And I don't understand Melissa's comment at all. She put where he is supposed to be. Is she assuming that I'm in the back? Is that what she's trying? Is she just not getting the joke at all? She doesn't realize that I'm 6'9" and I'm right there by the railing. Of course, I'm always going to push my way to the front. I'm never going to follow that rule of if you're over 6 foot, go to the back. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I'm intrigued by this question on Ask Reddit. I was trying to scroll to find a question for To Peach Their Own during the 4 p.m. hour today. Found this one. What's a hack in your industry that customers aren't supposed to find out? For us here in radio, the one thing I always like to tell people is that all the prank phone calls you hear on other stations, 100% fake. The dumbest bit out there. Like Ryan's Roses, War of the Roses, where, somebody calls in that's skeptical about their partner cheating on them, so the radio station calls that person pretending to be a flower company, and they say, well, who do you want to send these free flowers to? And the person on the phone will say somebody else's name, and the person who called in to the radio station to, do the whole thing to that person just starts screaming on the phone. And then they say, "Oh, hey, you're on air with Ryan Seacrest. How's it going? Why were you sending these flowers to this other person?" And it's a whole fake bit. There are actors and actresses hired to do those types of things because it is against the rule. It's against the FCC laws to call somebody and then just put them on the air without even getting their permission first. So if you were to get somebody's permission beforehand to then do a prank call on them is the stupidest thing on the planet. Why would you do that? So yeah, all modern day prank calls, 100% fake. Dumbest bit in radio. Some of these answers here: what's a hack in your industry that customers aren't supposed to find out? Orchestral violinist, this person said, sometimes we don't play all the notes. Somebody replied saying, I'm a cellist, and of course, we know you don't. I worked at a restaurant, and one time the chef burned the applesauce that was supposed to be served with the pork chop. He put it on the menu as smoked applesauce, and people loved it. You put one of those fancy buzzwords before an entree like that, it's going to work. It's like saying, hey, my applesauce will get rid of all the toxins within your body. Remember that stuff, that garbage, that health garbage? It's like, hey, that will get rid of the toxins. It's just a fancy buzzword. I could go on and on about these answers, but if you want to check it out for yourself, you can go to Ask Reddit. What's a hack in your industry that customers aren't supposed to find out? Everclear with Santa Monica on K-Bear 101, Idaho's only rock station. Speaking of places that usually have a lot of seagulls, New York City, the city agencies have been using drones to patrol beaches for signs of sharks and struggling swimmers. It's great technology to keep people safe, except there's a problem. The birds in the area don't like it. That's right. Flocks of local seagulls have been swarming the devices, forcing the police department and other city agencies to adjust their flight plans. It seems that the birds are very annoyed by the drones and probably think they're defending their chicks from a predator. I would love to see what's happening through a bird's mind when they see a drone in the air. That's one weird-looking creature, and they just go fly after it and attack it. The city officials are now putting together new plans that hopefully can still help people at the beach without annoying the angry birds. See, around here, I feel like people would just shoot the birds and drones down. There's no need for both. That sort of thing. Seagulls, they're very annoying. I'm glad we don't have to deal with them around here. When I went to middle school, McAuliffe Middle School, Southern California, at lunchtime, the seagulls would terrorize the area. All schools around here are all indoors. Many people around here are, baffled by the concept of lockers being outside. You have to walk around outside to get to classroom to classroom to classroom. That's how my school was. That's how my schools were growing up in Southern California. And so lunchtime, you would sit out there on the outside tables, and seagulls would come flying in and try taking your food. I remember one girl was about to take a bite of her St. Patrick's Day cookie. It was shaped like a 4-leaf clover. It's about to go in her mouth, and then right then and there, plop, a seagull just poops all over her cookie. And seagulls pooping was a huge threat to everyone in middle school. I got some seagull poop on my shoulder once. I was so mad. I had on a nice shirt. I had to go to the bathroom and get water and, wash it all off. First world problem. For one of the many problems of living in California, I should say. And then this right here, of course, is your Shot Clock Sports Update. Pro Football Hall of Fame wide receiver Calvin Johnson retired after the 2015 season as the greatest receiver in the history of the Detroit Lions. Since then, there's been a rift between Johnson and the team over a $1.6 million contract issue, but it looks like the two parties have worked things out. Now Johnson will be inducted into the Pride of the Lions during halftime of the team's September 30th Monday night matchup with the Seahawks. He'll be memorialized inside Ford Field for his contribution as the team's all-time leader in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. In baseball news, the All-Star break didn't come soon enough for Miami Marlins outfielder Dane Myers. He was ejected from the team's game against the Cincinnati Reds on Saturday, and when he got into the clubhouse, he kicked the door in frustration. Oh, one of these stories. His left ankle was very sore on Sunday, and after various tests from team doctors, they determined that he had fractured it in the incident. See? Don't be stupid. Myers won't require surgery, but he will be doing rehab for the next 8 weeks, giving himself a really long All-Star break. And in more baseball news here, baseball players are the subject of multiple cards produced each season. And now baseball announcers and reporters are getting a piece of that action there. The 2024 Topps Chrome Seamhead Signatures features cards of announcers and reporters throughout the sport, with 8 people signing cards that will randomly appear in the packs. You got ESPN's Joe Buck, Buster Olney, Ryan Rocco, Fox reporter Ken Rosenthal, New York Mets announcer Gary Cohen, New York Yankees announcer Michael Kay, and San Diego announcer Don Orsilio. Or is it Don Don Orsillo. It'd be great if radio DJs had their own trading cards. Howard Stern's would probably be the most expensive. You get Elvis Duran up there, Ryan Seacrest. Get a Peaches trading card, a Victor trading card. Why not? Anyway, that does it for your Shot Clock Sports Update right here on K-Bear 101. This is something dire that I need to talk about, the looming disaster for our local economy. 6 weeks ago, on May 30th, the governor's Department of Water Resources demanded that the wells for 700,000 local acres, they would all be shut down, 80% of local farms. Then he said he would give them until October 1st for the farmers to negotiate a solution, but after October 1st, he plans to begin shutting these wells. The result of the governor's order will be an economic disaster for our region. So if the farmers comply with the governor's orders, hundreds of businesses will close, thousands of jobs will be lost. The laws are already in place to make this happen, and our farmers have nothing to negotiate with. It is going to be very, very, very difficult to change it. So as a community, we need to become informed, get behind our farmers, show our support. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night at 7 p.m., the local Republican and Democrats are holding a town meeting open to the public to inform the public of this pending disaster. And the meeting will be at 7 p.m. at the Melaleuca Event Center. How do we prepare for the upcoming economic disaster for our region? Please get informed. Bring your employees, your spouse, whoever it may be. The only way we can stop this is if we have enough community support. So I felt the need to talk about that, the looming disaster for our local economy. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 7 p.m., the Melaleuca Event Center. Go to the meeting and try to say, hey, this is going to be a huge problem if we don't fix this. I do love this this part of the radio prep that's called Tuesday's Terrible Take, and this one's all about birthdays. And it could be argued that birthdays, well, some people for some reason don't necessarily like celebrating them. My friend Bryson's a perfect example. He has this huge downer mentality on his own birthday where he's like, I don't feel the need to celebrate my birthday for whatever reason. You might as well celebrate anything that you can. Celebrate the holidays, celebrate fun times together, make memories. That's my huge thing. I love bringing disposable cameras with me every trip when I go back down to California, just to get more and more of these memories of me with my friends doing fun things. And I come back here, get them developed. I have all these frames all around my apartment of me with my friends. Some of them are just my friends alone. Victor was talking about that whole thing with Jade about how it's weird to have pictures of your friends on your wall. No, it's not. At least you have friends, right? That's the most important thing. And celebrating your birthday, definitely something you should do. No matter how old you are, next year I'll be 29. And it's hard to believe that next year will be my golden birthday. Turning 29 on August 29th, and the year after I'll be 30. If I make it there, But just to celebrate the golden birthday, I got to do something big. I got to go to Vegas or something like that with the friends. I got to do some sort of vacation with them. It's always tough trying to coordinate these things, especially with friends who are just overall lazy. They don't want to do anything, or they're flaky. I hate flaky friends. I will never, ever, ever hang out with them ever if they flake out on me one time. For me, my policy when it comes to flakiness, strike one, you're out. And there's been a couple of people as of late that have had to, just stop doing things with altogether because of that. And you should, overall, like I said, the whole point of this break is to celebrate your birthday. You made it another year. Get some cake. Have people bring you presents. Just have a great time with your family or your friends or both. Peaches Pit Party on K-Bear 101. There's been a lot of health talk as of late, just because I've been going to the cardiologist quite a lot just to make sure my heart's doing all good. And luckily it is. Everything's going just fine. I just need to avoid the fast food that I've been eating. Go towards the Mediterranean diets. I won't be consistent with it, but I will eat a whole lot healthier than I have been. And now this study just popped up of ultra-processed foods like hot dogs, sugary sodas, white bread. They're bad for you. Oh, really? This isn't surprising news, but a new study sheds even more light on how just unhealthy these foods are. So researchers followed the eating habits of 500,000 people over 3 decades and concluded that people who ate higher amounts of ultra-processed foods, which are industrially processed foods with 5 or more ingredients, increased the risk of dying by 10% compared to those who ate a small amount of ultra-processed foods. Did they tell these people to eat extremely bad and then say, yeah, you're at more of a risk of dying now. You're welcome. They also found they had a higher risk of developing heart disease, type 2 diabetes, dementia, colorectal cancer. It's best to just look at the number of ingredients on the back of every package. That's what I say. You know, the whole less calories thing isn't all that great. You want to see how few calories there are, not few calories, few ingredients there are in the product. I used to buy those frozen meals a lot until I saw the amount of ingredients in those things. And overall, the sodium intake was going to be crazy too. It was 2,000 milligrams for one whole entree. I might as well just take the lid off the thing of salt on my table and just eat all the salt in there if I wanted to enjoy that frozen meal. I saw the headline, naked texting, and just automatically assumed it's somebody texting naked. But no, it's asking, hey, is it really a text if there's no emoji included in it? Well, according to some dumb survey, about half of the respondents said a text is not complete without an emoji. I don't mind emojis during texting. I know there are people who just plain text short sentences. The older you get, the less you text, from what it seems like. And it's talking about how Gen Zers said emojis need to be a part of a text message compared to about 46% of Gen Xers. Again, going back to my thing of as you get older, the less you text, the more you just want to call. And most Gen Zers, they're afraid to call unless they're 100% comfortable with you. I call my friend Bryson all the time. He's much younger than me. I'll just check in with him. We'll chat on the phone for hours. But I don't text him all that often. We don't really text each other. We Snapchat more than anything because that's his way of, keeping up with me, I guess. I told him, I was like, hey, the day that our streak dies is the day that my Snapchat dies. 850 days in a row, we have Snapchatted each other. And, of course, there are probably people out there saying, oh, that's cute. I got a 2,000-day streak. 850 is a lot. That's over 2 years of showing pictures of each other every day or sending pictures of each other to each other every day. It's a very weird concept once you say it like that. This is horrible. This is absolutely outrageous. Malaysia's National Registration Department has a message for those expecting parents. Don't name your baby Skibidi. Skibidi. That's right. Can't name your baby that. Other forbidden names include evil, or basuk, which means stupid and smelly in Malay. Why would you name your kid that name? Do you want them to get bullied? I have a tough time as it is with my stupid last name. I shouldn't say stupid last name. My legendary last name that is Peach, with how many people come up to me and sing that stupid, and I mean stupid, Presidents of the USA song. A Facebook post published by the department said parents cannot include official titles in their children's names. Only 80 maximum characters are allowed. What name are you going to give your kid that has 80 characters in it? Do you want them to write that down every single day throughout school? That super long name for no reason? You want to give your kid a fun, unique name that's simple, people will understand it, people can spell it correctly. My first name, Brendan, Brenden, is often misspelt by everybody, including extended family members of mine. I have talked about this on the air before, how my Aunt Lori gave me a Christmas card, I think, for 1 year. Or no, it was a birthday present. And she wrote Brendan on the envelope with a Y, Brendyn, which I have never seen in my entire life. That's awful. I will never want to. That's just why. Out of all the options, you have Brendan, Brandon, which is the worst one, and then Brendan, Brenden. So that's why people are so lazy they can't even say my first name. They'll just automatically call me Peach, which is, I'm not the biggest fan of. Victor's now starting to call me Brendan, which is very weird to hear. Very, very weird. It's like me calling him by his real name. I talked about this earlier, and I want to make sure I reiterate, because I know there are new people listening right now, that this is happening tomorrow night. This local meeting of the Republicans and Democrats, they're holding a town meeting open to the public to inform the public of this pending disaster, this looming disaster for our local economy. In case you haven't heard, 6 weeks ago on May 30th, The governor's Department of Water Resources demanded that the wells for 700,000 local acres be shut down, 80% of local farms. Then he said he would give them until October 1st for the farmers to negotiate a solution, but after October 1st, he plans to begin shutting down these wells. The result of the governor's order will be an economic disaster for our region. If the farmers comply with the governor's order, hundreds of businesses will close, thousands of jobs will be lost. The laws are already in place to make this happen, and our farmers have nothing to negotiate with. It's going to be very difficult to change it. So as a community, we need to become informed, get behind our farmers, show our support, and go to this meeting tomorrow, 7 p.m. at the Melaleuca Event Center, and fight against this. Get informed, bring your spouse, your employees even. The only way we can stop this is if we have enough community support. We need to rally together for once. I'm tired of this division personally. We need to all get together and fight against this to save the jobs, save the businesses. And now this is today's What the Headline. You see, if a classmate walks up to you and says, hey, try this, don't eat it. One student brought this bag of spicy potato chips to school to share with classmates, but these weren't your ordinary run-of-the-mill spicy chips. These chips labeled R18 plus curry chips, which also included a warning urging people under the age of 18 not to eat them because they're so spicy that they might cause you pain. The kids, of course, ignored this warning, ate them anyway, which they immediately regretted as it made them so sick the school had to have them transported to the hospital. One of the students felt so sick that he couldn't even walk. The label on the bag shows that a main ingredient is ghost pepper, which of course is one of the hottest peppers in the world. I don't mess with extreme spicy food. I think it's downright stupidity. If you eat something that's so spicy that you can't even handle it, not only is the entrance going to be spicy, but the exit's going to be even worse. That one time we had the one chip challenge here in the studio, Russell looked like he was about to die. Poor little guy. I'm glad he ended up being okay. We ate that whole quart of ice cream in the studio, and that chip sucks. Spicy challenges are overall so stupid. So stupid. Don't do them. K-Bear 101. All right, I'm intrigued by this article here. Have Gen Zers changed the Macarena? Older adults might do the hand motions to the Macarena automatically, but Gen Z, they're changing the dance. A TikTok posted by user at, is it FRIKENARLETH? I don't know how that would be pronounced. Basically showing young adults getting down to the iconic song with totally different hand movements. Of course, they're just trying to change a stupid dance. It's already stupid. TikTok videos are the dumbest things ever. Just why do you need to dance in front of a camera? Instead of the usual hand flipping and moving their hands to their head and their waist, the Gen Zers wave their hands left and right, then twirl their arms before making the turn. Okay. Millennials are commenting in droves, apparently. It says, however, not every dance trend lasts forever. I went to my little sister's prom and nobody knew how to dance the cha-cha slide or wobble or any one of those songs. One commenter said, I hate the cha-cha slide with a passion. I hate that song. It is one of the dumbest things. Every single time you go to any dance, the cha-cha slide is played. And it's the stupidest song. I could easily talk over a beat and say, hop to the left, hop to the right, and have that be an instant party classic. So stupid. I don't even get me started. It's in my list of the top 5 worst songs ever. Right there with Buddy Holly from Weezer. Right there. What else? That You Who We Who song from Gwen Stefani and Akon. That song's atrocious. And then the Cha-Cha Slide. K-Bear 101 at a Hose Only Rock Station. I did not want to read this right now. I already say the world is overcrowded big time. And you can see it by simply going to any store on a Saturday here in the area. That there are way too many people out on the road, even trying to get home after work, because I'm usually off now around 5:30 or so. I'm driving around and, it's the worst. So many people driving way under the speed limit, clogging traffic. It's terrible. Well, the population of the world will hit its peak in 2080, according to a recent UN report. After that, the population is predicted to decline. The current world population is 8.2 billion people, and it's expected to reach 10.8 billion at its peak. Some countries like South Korea, Italy and Spain are already seeing low birth rates. China, Germany, and Japan have already reached their peak populations, which, where's India? I mean, India is packed with people. Way too many people over there. Way too many people in China. We need to stop. All right? Too much traffic out there. Way too many. And it is now that time for To Peach Their Own, where I ask you a question. You give me your answer live on the air at 208-535-1015. If you had unlimited resources, what pet are you choosing? I mean, sure, you could choose a dog or a cat or whatever, but let's go wild with this one, huh? John putting an Irish wolfhound or another wolf. Jacqueline putting an orca. Shane just simply putting it's legal to own a kangaroo in Idaho with a permit. My dad putting elephant or monkey. I did see a couple people put elephant. I would totally have a lot of different elephants just roaming a massive field behind my house. Would love that. And elephants are so incredibly cool. They're so smart. They're giant. You talk about guard dogs. Can you imagine training elephants to go after home invaders? Like, sick them, and you just see this whole stampede running after somebody. How fast can elephants run? That's a stupid question I have. How fast can elephants run? 25 miles per hour? The African bush elephant can run 25 miles per hour. And elephants live pretty long, too. I'm seeing the Asian elephant lives around 48 years. African bush, 60 to 70. Same for the African forest elephant. That's a pretty long time. I don't expect to be around for a whole 70 more years. That's 98 for me. If I'm 98 years old, oh my goodness, I'll be horrible. Be this old man just sitting there, not even able to move, eat all that well, or eat food at all. Someone want to feed me, some giant grandpa. Ugh, let's not get in. Let's just avoid that. To peach their own, if you had unlimited resources, what pet are you choosing? Let me know at 208-535-1015. Hey, K-Bear, if you had unlimited resources, what pet or pets would you have?
I would have giraffes and possibly elephants.
Would you have to
Giraffes
have
are tall.
some giant sanctuary?
Yeah.
Like with a whole lot of
Probably
tall trees for the giraffes?
Yeah. And I mean they're also like they run like 37 miles an hour, so
How would you stop them from fighting? That's my most important question.
I think I would train them to get them to know each other. Like get them as babies and just have one male. That's it.
One male.
One male.
You'd say all the males will start fights, not the females.
The females, well, they'll just have to get along or they'll be put in timeout.
That's right. You get like some sort of like giant neck brace thing that you pin them to a pole.
Yeah. And of course, it wouldn't hurt them, so I got to make sure it wouldn't hurt them, of course.
Would you walk your giraffes?
Yeah.
So you have like a giant leash?
Yeah, just like a really big one. And or ride one of the elephants while I'm walking my giraffe.
There you go. It's like Jumanji, but you tamed all the animals. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and raise them like a lion pride, because lion prides only have one male.
Now,
with a bunch of females.
How far down the neck would you have to go to put a leash on the giraffe? Would you put it right below the head, or would you go towards the body there?
Probably the base of the neck. Probably more closer to the body, because don't want to choke them where the head is.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you pull the giraffe one way, then there might be a whole lot more
probably
neck.
The middle.
Yeah. Okay. K-Bear, how's it going?
Hey, it's great. How you doing, Peaches?
I'm doing fantastic. If you had unlimited resources, what pet are you choosing?
A ring-tailed lemur.
Is that the thing from Zaboomafoo?
Well, they used to have a show. There was Meerkat Manor and some other show on one of those nature channels before streaming.
Ring-tailed lemur.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that is definitely the.
Have a ringtail, then they hang from trees.
Have you ever seen that children's show Zaboomafoo? Way long ago. I think it ended in 2001.
Yeah, no, I think I'm too old.
I don't know if you had kids or whatever that watched it, or it was I grew up watching that, and it's funny because I didn't realize the lemur was fake or the lemur was real until it just passed away recently.
What do you mean? The one in the show you're talking about?
Yeah.
Because I thought you were about to tell me they were extinct, and I was about to cry.
Oh, no. They're around. They're around. Thanks for listening to Peach's Pit Party, the podcast. If you enjoy the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Peach's Pit Party is hosted by me, Peaches, and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com. Until next time, Peach out.